Welcome to the Senior Rehab Podcast,
the podcast for rehab clinicians that want to better serve older adults.
And now, your host, Dustin Jones.
Hello, friends. Thank you for listening to the Senior Rehab Podcast. And today's Senior Rehab Short is a little bit different. I'm going to be talking with Leah Schleikhoff of MedBridge Education. If you listen to this podcast, you are familiar with MedBridge. You have met Dee Cornetti, the home health section president. She has done a course with MedBridge. Margaret Martin from MelioGuide.com. She has done a course. Future podcast guest Cindy Kraft did the course with Dee Cornetti as well. So they have some very, very good content for people like you and me, the geriatric rehab clinician. But what I'm most impressed with was meeting them at CSM this past year and how they actually cared about us, the people that are working with older adults. And they're wanting to really grow their content, to build it, to make it better. And they want your input, but they also want to offer you a special deal as a Senior Rehab Podcast listener. So listen to this interview, get an idea of who MedBridge is, why they're considered the best online continuing education platform, and why you, the geriatric rehab clinician, should consider getting a subscription. The deal will be at the end of the interview, so stay tuned to the end to get your promo code to receive a pretty good deal from MedBridge. So without further ado, here's Leah Schleikhoff of MedBridge Education. Leah Schleikhoff with MedBridge Education. Welcome to the Senior Rehab Podcast. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Evan.
So people that listen to this podcast are pretty familiar with MedBridge. We've had a few guests on the show that have courses like Cindy Kraft, Dee Cornetti, Margaret as well with MelioGuide.com. So, but they also have heard the story from CSM. So I wanted to bring that up and then kind of dive into just the story of MedBridge so people can get an idea about the company. So for those that haven't heard the episode from CSM, Leah, I think you were there. Several other people from the MedBridge team were there as well. But you all were hosting kind of like a happy hour. I think it was at the Marriott, and I was there with Dan Quirk of Fox Rehab, and I believe Chris Hines was there as well. He was a previous podcast guest, and you all started asking us questions about what we did, who we worked with, and we're all geriatric rehab clinicians, which usually we're on the bottom rung of the ladder in the rehab world. But you all were actually interested in what we did and how to serve people like us. And I'll never forget this, that it was you or another colleague asked us a question like, what do you all need in terms of content? What would be helpful? And we started, telling you all what we thought. And someone whipped out a notebook and started actually taking notes. And that just really stuck with me, that like a big company like MedBridge, or perceivably big company is very interested in, I guess, a red-headed stepchild of the rehab world. So that stuck with me. But just to say that, could you kind of give us just kind of the genesis of MedBridge in terms of when it started and kind of where y'all are at now?
Yeah, sure. No, I love that story. I think it's pretty funny. And to give that context, we were in the middle. We were hours deep into a happy hour.
Yes.
So it was. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it all opportunities trying to, touch our clients and understand your feedback so that we can kind of put that into fruition. In terms of kind of genesis of MedBridge, and assuming most people are pretty familiar with what MedBridge is, if not, just briefly, we provide online education, educational tools, as well as patient engagement platform. It's all interoperable, so they all kind of talk to each other in a way to help improve outcomes and improve lives. So we, for the clinician, looking at ways that we can streamline your workflows and make you more efficient in your day, and providing kind of the three pillars: clinical education, home exercise programming, and patient engagement and education that are there to improve outcomes. And really, MedBridge started with that goal in mind of improving lives. It was founded in 2010 by CEO Justin Kowalczyk. And he began originally with kind of providing the highest quality online CEUs. So really pegging quality at the top, making sure that we're working with some of the best instructors in the industry, making sure that the learning methodologies behind online CEUs was there, kind of understanding the background. His sister is actually a physical therapist and was helping with her business on some of the business side of the physical therapy clinic. And he realized in that time that there was really a need for more accessible, high quality online education. So from there, started the subscription model of kind of an all you can eat courses, but that's really high quality, because previous to MedBridge, it was, in the online realm, at least, it was kind of lower quality voiceover with a PowerPoint. Oftentimes people were pushing play and, walking away because there's not kind of that engaging component. Quickly, the CEU component evolved into the clinical and patient education side of things, as well as the administrative tools for managers to be able to best kind of manage and track what's there to help improve outcomes.
Yeah, and that new addition is pretty amazing in terms of, especially like the home exercise programs and even the educational opportunities for the patients is huge. So it started off as a CEU company. It's definitely growing and growing. Who do you serve?
Yeah, we actually work with all rehab areas, so physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech language pathology, and athletic training. So the kind of 4 quadrants of rehab in all settings within the healthcare realm, including kind of outpatient, inpatient, skilled nursing facilities, and home health, kind of on a broad scale. And obviously there's kind of variations of those, but essentially all 4 rehab areas and all 4 settings. And then we have, kind of the enterprise, that's for the individuals. And we also have the enterprise offering, which is really designed for managers and administrators, which will include kind of additional reporting tools. So aside from the CE units and the patient engagement and patient education piece, reporting and learning management system, that then kind of link some of the other areas, so outcomes, to kind of targeted specific education to help improve the outcomes.
That's awesome. So I'm just going to ask you some quick questions just from the consumer standpoint. How do you make it easy to consume your content or courses? Because that's a big issue that I know I face and many of the listeners will face as well, in terms of finding the frickin' time to sit down and watch something or listen to something and actually learn. What steps do you all proactively make to make that easy for us?
Yeah, our courses follow a specific learning methodology. It was defined early on from a board of advisors member who was a Harvard professor of education, Dr. Stone Weisky, really making sure that we're catering to the attention spans of the online adult learners, and making sure that our content is engaging throughout, more than just filming a lecture or talking head, but you kind of using the motion graphics, the 3D models, true patient demonstrations to kind of keep things interesting, as well as breaking things down into bite-sized chapters. Obviously, you guys are busy. You're maybe traveling from location to location and able to watch 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So making sure that we have broken those content areas into kind of bite-sized chapters that provide true learning outcomes even in 15 minutes, using evidence-based kind of curriculum, and case-based quizzes to test for the understanding of the curriculum as well.
Okay. So I remember the first time I came across you all, I was actually in athletic training, or I was in undergrad studying athletic training. And, for most of my career up to this point, I've definitely been kind of a sports orthopedic kind of guy. And you all had, just a really strong, you have a strong reputation in that realm, and just some pretty well-known people speaking to those different issues. And the geriatric side of things, you all are definitely growing and definitely interested in that realm, as we talked at the happy hour, or hours, I guess I should say. So give us kind of an overview of just kind of what you're offering right now in terms of for the geriatric rehab clinician, and then where you think MedBridge hopes to go in the future.
Yeah, currently we have about 60 courses, 60 courses that are live on the site. We have about 90 courses that are in production and are launching this year.
My gosh.
So we have a wide variety of offering, and obviously knowing, geriatric's one area, but there's a lot of kind of specialties within geriatric, and how can you address all of those? We also are adding a Gcs Preparation Series, which will allow for preparation for the GCS exam. And that's included. The GCS is led by Kathy Brewer from the Mayo Clinic, and features instructors such as Kay Wing and Stephanie Shelby.
So a lot of people that are listening, I know myself included, we work for companies that offer, opportunities to watch PowerPoints and listen to audio clips dubbed over these PowerPoints, and get, basically free continuing education units. I know this past year, I was able to get all of my CEUs based on staring at a computer and just clicking a mouse. And I'm not sure if I learned anything, but I definitely, took the quiz and passed. So for the people that have these free opportunities, like me, what would you say to them? Why MedBridge? Why would they fork over their own money to consume, your all's content?
Yeah, I think there's lots of reasons. I mean, for the individual staff clinicians, MedBridge provides, the highest quality CEUs. For home health clinicians specifically, MedBridge is especially convenient, as there's a large variety of courses specific for home health. We actually film in the home setting, which I think I hear often from home health clinicians that say, well, this course is relevant for somebody who works in an inpatient center, but what about all the kind of nuances that home health clinicians have to consider? So we do film a lot of the courses in the home setting to really be relevant for home health clinicians. And then we're continually adding to our content library. So the GCS Prep series is one big launch that will happen this year, which is really layering on quite a big amount of geriatric content. We also offer kind of the home exercise and patient education piece of it as well. So we just launched actually joint replacement, kind of doing red flags and wound care and some, basic kind of education around that. But there's definitely a lot of kind of home content that can be relevant, not only for the patient themselves, but also for the caregivers.
Yeah, I will definitely speak to that last bit in terms of, for the patient and the caregivers. I, saw the transfer videos that you all had recently, and they're just super helpful because I mean, that's something I struggle with in terms of educating other people how to perform certain tasks, whether they're transfers or guarding, while people are trying to walk that may need assistance. And you all have kind of created this all-in-one package to where, you can just show a video on your computer or send it to someone, so they can watch this and learn this on their own. So that is helpful. And I will add, just to answer the question I asked you, the quality is just, it's hard to compare to from the other services that I've experienced, at least in terms of the continuing education that we can get. I mean, it's so mind-numbing to sit in front of a computer and stare at a PowerPoint and, read about 5 paragraphs on one slide, maybe with one picture, and then, go to the next and it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I just love how you all have that user in mind, and how, to make it a good experience, a useful one, and it ultimately, serves us in the clinic. What about businesses? Like say there's like a group of clinics that want to kind of have, multi-clinic discount or whatnot. How do you all handle those?
Yeah, so we do have an enterprise solution. So obviously we, individual clinicians can go ahead and sign up, log in, and you'll have access to the courses and the patient education home exercise program. We also offer the kind of enterprise package, which includes learning management system and those reporting tools. And we do have, group pricing based on that. If you're interested in that, if you're a manager or if you want to let your manager know, you can contact us at sales@medbridgeed.com. And we'd be happy to provide some more information there.
All right. And I will include all those links in the show notes for everyone listening. I really, appreciate what you all are doing. And another thing that really stands out to me is just your all's willingness to receive feedback. I could, they could tweet to you, post on Facebook, email you or Rachel or any of the team, and you all are going to take that recommendation and put it to use, which is really helpful. So let's say someone's listening and they do have a question or maybe an idea of a potential piece of content or a course for you all. What is kind of the best avenue to go about that for you all to get that?
Yeah, if there's any recommendations, please, we're happy here. We'd love to know. The best thing about MedBridge is that, and we tell our clients this too, is we want to be able to fulfill your needs, and so listening to what your requests are is most important to us. And the best way to reach us would be to email us. The email would be contact@medbridgeed.com. Or get on the website and send us a message through the website. We'd be happy to hear your feedback, your requests for courses or content, your requests for patient education or home exercise programs, or other requests for functionality, like our mobile app, for instance, is just launched on the courses side. But that came out of obviously many clients requesting, can I watch this from my phone? So if you've got ideas like that, let us know. We'd love to hear them.
Leah, just thank you for your time. And just thanks for actually listening to the redheaded stepchild of rehab, the geriatric rehab clinician, that works with older adults. It's real sexy to work with the athletes and kind of in the sports ortho realm. But a lot of us listening, we just love the old folks. We love them. And it's cool to see you all catering to that patient population and helping us be better at what we do. So it's appreciated.
Right. No, thank you. Thanks, Dustin. It was great to meet you at CSM. And for anyone who is listening, I work with Dustin, and we're able to kind of provide a promotion for you if you're interested. If you want to go ahead to medbridgeeducation.com, if you enter in Senior Rehab Project on the cart page, you'll receive a 50% discount off our standard offering. So I hope you have a chance to check us out if you haven't already.
All right, friends, you heard Leah at the end. MedBridgeEducation.com is offering a $225 discount off their normal price of $425 a year. So that's $200 a year that you can get access to their amazing online platform so you can be a better clinician and you can better serve your patients. This relationship is an affiliate relationship. So for those that aren't familiar, MedBridge offers the listeners of this podcast a discount in order to get a new clientele. So you sign up, you use my promo code, you will get a deal. MedBridge gets a new client, and then I will receive a small commission. So it is a win-win-win for all of us. So if you want a good service and you want to help out me and the Senior Rehab Project, just go to medbridgeeducation.com, use promo code Senior Rehab Project, all one word. Since the Senior Rehab short was a little different than normal, I'm going to finish the podcast a little different than I normally do, which many of you that have listened from the beginning, this will not be new to you, but I'm going to end this episode with an inspirational quote from my favorite musician, James Brown. My expectations of other people, I double them on myself. Stay funky, y'all. Hit me. I want to thank you for listening to this podcast. The show notes and much, much more can be found at seniorrehabproject.com. I want to encourage you to go there so you can join me and many others in the movement that's changing the face of geriatric rehab. Just go to seniorrehabproject.com, click join, and you'll be able to get access to our private Facebook group, which can basically serve as your virtual mastermind group. You'll get a short and sweet monthly email from me with useful links for you and your patients. And lastly, you'll get 10% off your first purchase from the Senior Rehab store. So all of this can be found at seniorrehabproject.com. And until next time, my friends, do not forget to stay funky.